What's going on, guys? Today is September 12th, and I am finally up here in British Columbia. I'm on a mountain goat hunt that I booked like 2 years ago, and as you can see, it's kind of smoky behind us this morning. I got in yesterday. We didn't get to camp until like 1:30 a.m. last night to my outfitter's house. I'm hunting with Beaverfoot Outfitting, and we're in Golden, British Columbia, and so we just got to our first spot for the morning. We're gonna glass what we can glass. The smoke has it kind of difficult to see, but it's not too bad right in this, up in this valley here. So we're gonna check this out. I also have a deer tag, so if we can get a goat knockdown, we're gonna try to kill a mule deer. We did see a bear already this morning on the road riding in, decent black bear, but should be a fun hunt, something I'm really looking forward to, something I've wanted to do a long time. So we're gonna get to glassing and see if maybe we can find a goat this morning. Yeah, it's a pretty long ways away.
Yeah, that's a hard one to try to film on.
That's the first goat of the trip. That's not bad though. I mean, you found that thing in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we came here.
Yeah.
Usually it's always got to be one.
Yeah. So that billy we think it's a billy that I was just filming is up here. And that stuff is just gnarly. So I'm gonna glass this cutover. Like I said, I have a mule deer tag too, so there's all these places that you can see that the timber companies have cut in here, and it looks like really good mule deer habitat, real thick. And if I get a goat early enough, hopefully we can go up high and try to hunt the mule deer up high. But right now, while we're just glassing for goats, I figure I might as well just check out spots like this and make sure there's not a good buck down there. Bucks, for me to shoot a legal mule deer in this area territory, it has to be 4 points or better on one side. We hiked into this bowl. Smoky, but we can see well enough to glass. There's another one bedded. You can't tell what he is, can you? Is it? You think he's a billy?
Oh, I don't know.
It's just too far off the tail. So that billy I was just videoing is right there. Goat number 3. So the one is right there, and then he's around over here. So there's actually 2 goats there. So we're up to 6 goats on the day now. There's 4 up here, and there's still the one over here, and then there's one that we spotted this morning back on that side. Probably the best billy we've seen, but he was in no man's land. We think one of these up here is a billy, but not real big, and we think this one's probably a small billy, like a 2-year-old billy. Big mountains, cool country, just waiting on the right one in the right spot. Not bad for the first day though, seeing 6 goats. What's up, guys? So it's day number 2. Yesterday we ended up seeing 6 goats, and really only 2 billies. One was a small billy, probably like a 3-year-old billy, and they ended up, that billy and some nannies and a kid moved down. We're almost where they were in place that they could be hunted if we wanted to, but he wasn't big enough. We saw that first goat yesterday morning, and we felt like that was a good billy. So last night we went back around to that side, and that goat, he had been way high. He had come way down, and we watched him go over a ridge. So this morning we're going to go back into that area. We're just getting some fuel right now, and we're going to head over to that side, and we're going to see if we can pick him up. And if we can pick him up and he's a good billy, we're going to try to kill him. It looked like he was a good billy. He was about a mile away when we were looking at him, so you know you can only see so well that far, but it looked like he was a pretty good one. So fingers crossed we go back over there and we find him. The smoke looks a little better this morning. It rained last night, and it actually rained a little this morning, but we're going on the back side of the range, so it might be okay over there. It might not be wet at all. There's supposed to be some weather coming in later today and this evening, so it's probably going to be wet later today and tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get on that goat. If he's a good one, we're going to try to get on him. See what happens. So we're back in our spot. Chad glassed a goat back in here, and I just saw a grizzly right there. Maybe he'll come back out and get some video of him. That's pretty cool. It's the first grizzly bear I've ever seen. He went behind some trees right on that little ridge right there. Like on black bears, you look at their ears. Do you do that on grizzlies too? Like the size of the ear on the head to try to see how big it is? God, he looks big to me. Oh, he just caught him something, a ground squirrel or something. Yeah. He's like just teared it in half. You could see him rip it. Awesome. Damn, we've already seen 6 today. Oh, I got you.
If I ever have bear hunters, I bring them here in the spring.
So the goat last night was somewhere here, and then he bailed over into this bowl. But where we just saw the grizzly was right there. Grizzly went that way. And that other single goat we saw this morning was somewhere on that ridge, we think. So we're just gonna glass this whole area to see if we can maybe find one in here. Looks like that bear, probably that grizzly, has been in here digging up this hillside. Going up there. We're almost there. We saw goats on there. We're gonna go up around this little lip over on the backside of this trees, pop up through that little saddle right there, and try to glass back that way. See if the goats are still there. So there's a smaller billy right up on the mountain right there. And he was in range. He was out there a good bit though. I mean 650. I could have cut the distance and shot from there. He just isn't big. He's young, so we're gonna go up here, check out the big bowl that we were hiking up to look at and see if there's a good one in here. The one we saw yesterday he was on this point over here. We don't think that's the same goat, so we're gonna keep looking, see what we can find. How crazy is this lake? Never seen anything like that. And it's got these huge rock walls. There's some goats we're about to look at with a spotter right there, and a glacier right there. And that smaller billy is still over there. Pretty wild. There are goats all over the place up here. There's one goat right there. Come over here. There's two more goats right there. 1, 2. So that makes 3. And then now over here, there are actually 6 over there. So we can see 9 right now. Just no good billies. Really cool. Made it back to the truck. We saw 14 goats today, 2 billies, 12 nannies, and kids. We did not see the big billy that, or what we thought was the big billy from last night. The last place we saw him last night was basically where I saw the grizzly first thing this morning, so he probably blew him out of there or ate him or did something. We didn't see him. But we saw 2 billies and decided not to make a move on either of them. Definitely could have killed one of them. He just wasn't quite what we're looking for, especially with like 8 days left to hunt. So we're gonna keep hunting. The weather's not looking great tomorrow, so we'll have to see what we do tomorrow. We did have that one group, or that one nanny and kid, come in right on us, which was really cool. They got to like 88 yards, and so got some really cool footage of them. But we'll make a plan for tomorrow, see what happens. So what's up, guys? It's day number 4. Yesterday we didn't really do much. The weather was supposed to be bad. It didn't end up being really that bad, but today we're gonna hike up in there. That's supposed to be a really good area, and it hasn't really been hunted for like 3 years. Hasn't been a goat killed out of there in like 4 years, so it should be really good. We're gonna take the ATV up the trail here to the base, and then hike up from there, camp up there. It's supposed to also be, could be some good mule deer up here too. So we'll see what'll happen. Hopefully we can get on some. So we got to get our stuff together and then get to riding and hiking. Hopefully get up there and have, you know, half of the day to look for one, and tomorrow also see if we can find a goat, maybe a deer. So we're coming up this gully. I don't know, we've been hiking 20-30 minutes, I don't know, and we're almost to where it breaks through. Hopefully we're going up to the top of this ridge, camp up there, and then we'll cover ground from the ridge. Pretty tasty. We've pretty much made it to the saddle. This climb has been the real deal. It is so much steeper than that video looks. Climbed up through the clouds, fog, everything. We gotta go up here onto the saddle and then around that little peak, and then there's another saddle that's a little higher up we're gonna camp in. But that was the big climb there. I don't know how much we climbed, probably 1,500 total vertical, maybe more. Heck, it could have been more. See him? Come right here. He's big. He's got a white blaze on his chest. He just went right up that rock side and stopped. He's not huge, but he's not little. God, man. Bears all over the place in this place. Bear is not scared at all. I don't think he's seen people before up here. He's just chilling up there on that knob. So if you want to go mountain goat hunting, you gotta go where the mountain goats are. 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and I don't know, 2,000 or 2,200 vertical feet from where we parked the four-wheeler. The other day, we saw the goats. We were over there somewhere on the other side of the valley. We finally made it into our camping spot. It was 2.5 miles. Took us 4.5 hours though. And 2,200 feet of elevation gained. So there's a fire pit. Troy, who's the owner of the outfit, he's camped up here before, but like I said, nobody's been up here hunting in 4 years or so. Right down there he's got a cache of water, so we were a little worried about water, but there's 5 or 8 gallons of water down there, so you can see that you can see a whole lot from up here. And there's some goat tracks around here and there. Right there's a goat track. So we can glass this whole big old bowl. You can see some over there where Chad's glassing now. We can get up on top of that and glass that whole backside right there. So lots of options. Hopefully we can turn up a good billy in here. Glassed up a muley doe from up on top all the way down on the bottom of one of those avalanche chutes. So here's home for the next couple of days. This tent is pretty awesome. This is Chad's tent. Look how much room is inside this thing. Crazy roomy. I bet it's 6, 7 feet wide by 10 feet long, and only weighs like 3.5 pounds. So put some food over there. There's nowhere to really hang it high because we did see a bunch of grizzly bear sign, but at least it's over a little ways away. And then we can glass this whole big bowl. Spot the deer right down there. You can see his claws while he's walking. This one kind of looks like he might have some silver on him or something. On his shoulders, kind of. Yeah, definitely. That's wild, man. Yep. How's that? That's a goat trail right there. How wild is that? A hole down there. It's not doing it justice, but that's like 70 degrees. That grizzly bear is over there somewhere. Going right up here to the top to glass the backside tonight. Well, there are 3 bucks down there, and there's a doe. That's the best one we've seen so far. So there's all 3 of the bucks that we've seen so far. And I don't know if there's any more or not. So we finally found some goats. That one is a billy, and there's some others that we haven't looked at close enough yet, but that one looks pretty good. But he's in not exactly a friendly situation or location, but he looks like he might be the biggest billy we've seen so far. He looks pretty good. It's definitely, we're not going for him today. No way. have like an hour and a half of light last night. What's going on, everybody? It's day number 5, and we're up here on top. Yesterday was a good day. It was a hellacious hike in here. Got the TP sent up. Slept up here last night, but saw a lot of animals yesterday. We saw 4 black bears, a grizzly. We saw a bighorn sheep, ram. I didn't get any footage of him down by the road. Saw either 10 or 11 goats with 2 billies, and one of them's pretty good. Saw 6 deer, 4 bucks, 2 does, 1 legal buck, but he wasn't what we were looking for. And feel like there's probably a goat right here this morning on this cliff face or mountainside somewhere. There. But I've heard rocks. We heard rocks fall last night, and I just heard some this morning. A lot of times when there's rocks falling, there's goats that are knocking them down. So we're gonna look and cover ground today and see if that big Billy is in a place where he can be shot. Last night where he was, like, I might have been able to get in position to shoot him at a pretty good distance, but if he had fallen, there's no way we could have gotten him. So we're gonna keep watching, and obviously there's plenty of animals in here because almost no one comes in here. So we'll see what happens, and it should be a good day. I feel pretty certain we'll see some animals. So there's a goat track. There's our tent. There's a couple more right here. That's a pretty big track there. We're in the right spot. We just gotta have one give us the opportunity. Yeah, I think that's a Billy, and he's bigger than the other one.
One coming up behind it. He's definitely getting better. I don't think he's good. Totally honestly, he's not huge.
But he's in a good spot though.
I'm sure.
I almost think I should shoot him if he gets in a good spot. I don't know how far that is.
Repeat this way.
Into the grass.
Yeah. Just let him come.
We found some goats. We watched them work all the way across the point, and we're hoping they're gonna feed up over this little ridge towards us. There's a pretty decent Billy in there, so we're just waiting right now to see what they do. So we watched them come across there, and they just went behind that little point right there. And we're hoping they're gonna pop right out on top of that right there. Just have to wait and see. So we're trying to sneak in there. We're not sure exactly where they went, so we're trying to sneak up here and see if we can find them again. Well, guys, the goats just went over right there. They were all the way back behind us, probably 1,000 yards, more than 1,000 yards. And somehow they spooked, went all the way down along here. And we didn't spook them. They had no idea we were here. I don't know what it was. We are fogged back in. We were fogged in for like 2 hours this morning. And then it lifted, and we got on those goats. Those goats were in range, but it was a group of goats, and one of the billies was definitely better. There were 2 billies, one was definitely better, and we just wanted to make sure we were on that one. We thought they were going to hit the spine and kind of come towards us, but they dropped back down, went all the way around, came up over this side, which is right over here. But as you can see, you cannot see anything right now. Like, we can see like 20 yards. So we kind of just have to sit here. It's raining, fogged in, see if it lifts, and we can glass this bowl It's gonna be a big area we'll be able to see, and maybe the goats are in here. If they aren't, there probably are some other ones in here. It's gotten pretty nasty up here. Haven't been able to see anything more than about 20 yards, maybe 30 yards for, I don't know, hours. It's 4 o'clock now. Working our way back towards the tent just because I don't think we're going to have any options for anything today. That's a ptarmigan. I guess that's what they sound like too. Morning of day 6. It got pretty nasty last night. Did clear up for just a little while, maybe like an hour, and we glassed for about an hour. Saw a black bear and I saw a buck just briefly, and then it went to the trees. We're clear up here today, so hopefully all that fog down there in the valley stays down there. All that snow on those peaks you can see right there, it's new. It was definitely colder last night, so we're gonna drink something hot, eat something, try to go find a goat. This is the first spot we're gonna glass today. We saw those bucks that I passed on the other day right down there, and that buck I glassed yesterday that I only saw for a second was right in there somewhere. Seen a bunch of goats over here. There was no snow on those peaks yesterday. It got cold and nasty last night. Heck of a storm. And check out this rock I just found. There's all kinds of fossils up here from the ocean. And there's like coral and stuff, but this is the first kind of shell we found. Pretty neat. So we've been hearing these rocks fall, and we're pretty sure there's some goats close by, but Chad just spotted a sweet buck. He's like double forked, so he's like 5 by 5 or 6 by 6. He's not real wide, but he is sweet, and he's in a good spot too. Yeah, dude, he's like double forked on both sides. He might have a crab claw on the end too. Sure enough. He's a 6 by 5. Yeah. Oh man, that's a sweet buck. Yeah, I think we gotta get down there and see if we can kill that buck. We can definitely, he's 5'12" from here. Probably another 100 yards off down there. Yeah, there's not much wind though. Like that's not really very much. So we're waiting for the big buck to come back out. There's a doe and a fawn right there. That 4x4 is right there. And we're pretty sure this is probably the same group we saw the other day. That 4x4 is just stripped as velvet. And that big buck must have either been out of sight or they just weren't with him at that time or whatever. But he's in that little gap right there. He's in those trees. Every once in a while we'll see him move. So we just gotta wait for him to come out. It's about 425, 450 yards, depending on what deer you're looking at. All the bucks that we want, all the bucks except for the one we want. Yep, that velvet is coming off. That's pretty cool. It looks like he's gonna be about 450. He's moving left.
is that though?
You good? You good?
You hit him back.
I can't, he's half behind a tree. We're going to recover the deer. He's somewhere right over there. We sat on him for 4 hours. Finally, he came out. We saw 9 deer total, 8 bucks. So, looked like the first shot was pretty good, but he was still standing, so I hit him again 2 more times. But he's done, and he's a dandy. He looked pretty good. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Well, what shot was that? That was the first one?
That's your first.
Oh, I absolutely hammered his first shot.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're gonna get him out and look at him. He looks like a stud. Holy smokes.
Monster, buddy.
Well, check it out. Huge body deer. Double forks, both sides. And a crab claw on that side. So, I don't know which shot that is that came out there. Probably my last one. There was a lot of wind coming across, so I hit him. Honestly, the first shot really wasn't that bad because he was quartering. Heck of a good buck. Sweet. Forks on forks on forks. All right, well, here he is, guys. He's a 6x5. He's got double forks on both sides. It's pretty awesome. First shot was 475, and then follow-up was 495. Actually, 2 at 495. So he's an awesome deer, huge body. We're gonna get him broke down and pack him back up the mountain. Well, we got camp. Whole mule deer. It's about 5:50. We got 2.5 hours till dark. We got to go over this ridge, one more ridge, down an avalanche chute to the quad. About a little over 2 miles. Packs are really heavy. But then we get to sleep in a bed tonight, so that's nice. We're gonna climb.